You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Hello, and welcome to episode 279 of the Rusted Robot Podcast for Sunday, February the 16th, 2020.
X-Ray Delta 1, this is Mission Control. Roger, you're 1930.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
All right, I'll take a shot at it. What the hell, it works on Star Trek.
There's a fleet of Star Destroyers coming out of hyperspace in Sector 4.
Ship, abandon ship. All personnel proceed to escape pods. Close that circuit.
Come quietly or there will be trouble.
I am the law.
Hi, I'm your host, Sean.
I'm Josh.
And I'm Kitty.
How's everybody doing?
Solid poor.
Solid poor. Oh, very good. Kitty?
What? I'm doing good. Why are you doing poor?
He's been hurting
I've been in
himself.
pain for a week.
Yeah, well, there's that. But, I'm happy.
I'm okay too, thanks for asking.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. So, as we learned last week, Josh is the banter enforcer. So, what are we going to banter about today, buddy?
No, that's not how banter works. Banter is an organic extension of natural state of being. You can't just
Force it?
You can't pre-subject it.
I just like to shove that in there, just force it any which way it goes.
No, you don't just force it in there. That's the wrong way to do things.
This is banter.
You have to start it off naturally and let it smoothly enter.
Well, that explains...
You can't just force it in.
That explains the issues of my entire life. Okay. All right.
That was banter.
Yes.
And if you said nothing or agreed, it would not have been banter. So you are the banter enforcer.
He is.
That's true.
I'm thinking of getting him a badge.
Oh, that could be bad.
It would go right to his head, all the power?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got him an always right card in the 90s when those were a thing.
Like a business card?
It was like a credit card.
Okay.
You know those weird fake
yes.
identification cards?
And it just said always right?
Oh, it wasn't in the 90s. It was like early 2000s.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got him one of those. It said always right. It has since broken.
And overused.
Yeah.
Because you're always right.
Well, he would pull it out all the time.
Of course,
like,
I bet.
I'm always right.
I bet he would always pull that out. I can imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like Josh.
Yeah. Those were fun times. They're not a thing that they make anymore.
I bet you could find them somewhere.
Maybe. A lot of the joke stuff and novelty things aren't a thing anymore. They're coming back, though.
Fadios.
Yeah.
What?
Josh and I have an idea for a fad-themed store.
Oh.
It would be all of the fads from, I think it's like the 60s till now?
1950s up.
1950s.
1950s.
All the fun stuff starts in the 60s.
Hula and
Oh
grass
yeah, that's
skirts,
right. Hula and grass skirts.
And Frisbee. That's all 1950s.
That's true.
Well, I don't think that store would work here in Timmins.
What?
Why not?
Because Timmins is the land that culture forgot.
Yeah, and this is all the past culture.
Yeah, and these are fad things. Pet rocks, pogs, lava lamps, bead curtains, tie-dye.
I had bead curtains.
Yeah,
Tiki bar.
see? There you go. Tiki bar.
Tiki bar, yes. I would love to open up a tiki bar on a beach somewhere.
Flick sticks, yo-yos.
The red and blue ones that light up.
Oh, right.
For no reason.
Uh-huh, yeah.
Are the ones that sparked.
Yep.
The sparks inside, those were good times.
What about those slap bracelets?
Yeah, slap bracelets.
Yeah.
Worm on a string, which used to be Pet of the Future. But the future is now, so now it's just worm on a string.
So when are you opening up the store?
Oh, I don't know. I need some money. Oh, yeah, clackers.
You need some money?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you get money?
There are various ways.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting.
I'm not doing it, though. I'm already doing lots of other stuff.
What? Like what?
I run a store.
You do?
I do.
So you already have a store then?
I already have a store.
What do you need to open up a pop culture store for?
Well, it's because... Okay, so
Or a
I
fad
have
store, I guess.
a pop culture store,
That's what I
and
mean.
it's so full of things
Pop culture?
that people like all the time that I don't have room for things that are fads.
Oh, I see. What kind of store do you have then?
It's a comic book and collectibles store.
Where do you have that?
It's in the basement of the 101 Mall, 38 Pine Street North, Timmins, Ontario.
Oh, it's in Timmins,
Yeah.
where we are. Wow.
It is indeed.
So like...
In Canada.
In Canada.
It's cold up here.
It is cold up here.
Everything is frozen.
Yeah, that's right. We get 4 nice warm days a year. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't lie. We get lots of nice days.
Do we?
Yeah, we get lots.
Yeah, sometimes it snows less.
Right, yes. That's true.
It's all depending on your definition of nice.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm nice.
You're the nicest. Yes. And you own a store, you just said.
Yes.
What's it called again?
Jump City.
Jump City comic books.
Yeah.
And pop culture extravaganza?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
It is that now.
All right. But it doesn't sell fad stuff.
Well, we might have little bits. Like, we really want the Sea Monkey's Magic Castle. Who wouldn't want that?
I don't know.
The main reason why we want it, though, is because it used to be in advertisements on the back of the comics.
Oh,
you could
right.
send away for sea monkeys.
Yes, I do remember.
I also want X-ray specs, but they don't do anything. At least sea monkeys are a thing that you can have and look at. X-ray specs don't do anything at all.
No, because everything's made of lead, apparently.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Josh, I've got no celebrity deaths to report for you this week. I know.
That's a good thing, Sean. Don't sound disappointed. You should sound excited.
I'm just thinking about content for the listeners.
Well, then pick a random celebrity who's still alive that you want to be dead.
Oh my goodness, no.
That's harsh.
No. You can pick a random celebrity that you hope never dies.
Oh, there you go.
Well, that's easy. There's lots of really good celebrities who are like, oh, I wish they never die.
Yeah. Didn't there used to be a section that was
Yes.
celebrating the life and times?
Life celebration, because we had so many celebrity deaths for a time. We had a whole segment where we had the celebration of life, and we'd pick a new old actor every time.
Yeah.
Just to thank
and now
them
you're just disappointed that they're not dead.
I'm not disappointed. No.
Sean, you first said it and you sounded sad.
Well, it's like a regular segment, and now we don't have one this week.
Yeah, but you sounded sad that there wasn't a death.
Oh, I'm not sad. I'm just excited to be here talking to you guys, and so
As you should be.
my exuberance carries over into everything I talk about, no matter what it is.
That's true.
Sure, we'll go with that.
I think we should.
Sean is a ray of sunshine.
I am.
As we all know.
I am a ray of sunshine. That's true. I have a sash that says so.
You have a sash?
No.
Oh, I kind of really wanted that to be a thing.
I could get one.
Ray of sunshine.
I'm going to order my sash when I order him his Banter Enforcer card. Yes.
Oh, that sounds like fun. What do I get?
What do you want?
Oh, I think I deserve a crown.
You could have a crown. No,
Yeah.
no, maybe a tiara, because that's lighter.
Crown.
Tiara.
Aww.
Tiara? Tiara? How do you say that?
Tiara.
Not tiara? Tiara?
You're saying the same thing, aren't you?
Probably.
So you want the Disney princess to sit on your head?
What Disney princess?
Isn't that the name of the one from the Princess and the Frog?
No, that's Tiana.
Tiana? I thought it was Tiara.
No.
Okay, continue.
We shall carry on. You'll get a tiara.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I wanted a crown, though.
Well, maybe the tiara is a crown.
Made out of stars, because I'm the star, the guest star.
I will reach up to the heavens and pull the stars out of the sky just for you. How does that sound?
Yeah. Okay, get on it, guys.
Okay.
I'll hold down the fort and run the rest of this podcast.
All by yourself?
Yeah, sure.
You know, it's not always a good thing when you have a podcast that you do all by yourself.
Yeah, it would be terrible.
It just might be.
Yeah, we definitely shouldn't let that go to my head.
No. If you were going to start your own podcast, like a solo show, what would you call it?
A solo show?
A solo show, just you by yourself talking.
A solo show and talk nothing about Han Solo.
Oh, there you go.
A solo show and just talk about me?
Yeah, there you
That
go.
would be bad, too.
Oh, you know what? I did that one time.
Did you?
I did. I called it the Soul Forge Podcast, and it's still going on right now, actually.
That's not just about you.
Well, it's mostly just about me and all the things that I go through.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm. You know, there's a guy, when we first started the podcast, he gave us one of our intro segments, and his name is Al Kessel, and he used to do the Disney podcast. And I always told him, well, your name is Kessel, you should do a podcast called The Kessel Run. And he never did. It was a wasted opportunity.
Would he be podcasting while jogging?
It would be a Star Wars podcast, obviously.
Yeah. Would he talk about Star Wars while jogging?
I don't think he would.
Aw.
But that would be extra meta. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he should just call it the Kessel Run and do a jogging and running
podcast
about running and jogging and marathons and races, and never once mention Star Wars.
Never once mentioned Star Wars. That would be fantastic
that would be
on its own, wouldn't it?
excellent, yes.
Because most people would be confused, and the people that are in on it would be hilarious, because he never once mentions it.
He'd be like, I wonder if he's going to talk about Star Wars this time. Never ever does.
He would just call it the unofficial Star Wars podcast and never mention it again. That would be awesome.
It would be awesome.
Yes.
Well, that's a podcast I kind of really want to listen to.
Right? Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Did you know there is a podcast all based around running?
There are several.
Bet there's lots.
This one in particular that I'm talking about is to encourage listeners to run. You, as a listener, would be tuned into the podcast, and the person speaking to you is speaking through a radio transmitter.
Oh.
Like they're not actually.
Yeah, but it sounds like it.
But the idea is that they're speaking through a radio transmitter
To motivate you?
to you to let you know where the zombies are coming from as you're trying to escape them and survive.
Ooh.
So you're, working out, you're just running or jogging.
And he has some ambient sounds and...
Yeah, and so they lead you, and as long as it's, safe for you to go that way, they'll say, oh, rest here. Oh, turn right, turn left. You're going to have to pick up the pace here. So it, gives you rests. It gives you the chance to stop and have something to drink. Because, they're trying to keep you alive, but also motivated.
Oh.
It sounds like fun. It's almost like an interactive game, but not really. It's a workout.
What is the name of this podcast?
I don't remember. My sister was listening to it for a little while.
Oh.
I don't think she was jogging, though.
Probably not. Josh?
Yes.
What flavor of vape are you using this week?
This is still Dabadoo. I'm down to 30 milliliters every 2 weeks now.
That's good. So you're almost off the stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Do you have a projected end date?
No.
No.
Because creating false deadlines like that, you'll just get disappointed and go, wow, I failed to meet my self-imposed deadline, and therefore why not? I'll just go back to full smoking or full vaping.
Yes.
You just go until you go off.
He even wasn't vaping at all anymore for a little while.
I thought so.
Yeah, I did a stretch where I did nothing, and then stress.
Yes.
But he doesn't have any nicotine, so it's not really that bad anyway.
No, it's just the flavoring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not any worse than, gum.
Well, it's worse than gum.
Well, you're not supposed to breathe in anything that isn't air.
Yeah.
It could be argued that gum isn't great for you either, though.
No, gum's good for you.
Not all gum.
If you're chewing gum, so long as you get past the point that there's no more sugar in it, it's good for your teeth.
A lot of people spit it out once it's got no sugar. Hubba Bubba, you think those people chew past the point of when it's got sugar in it?
Yeah.
No.
Welcome to the Gum Podcast.
What was your favorite gum as a kid, growing up as a kid?
I never was a big gum chewer.
No?
No. Didn't really care for that.
Not the bubble tape?
I probably had some of that.
Have as much gum as you want. Ridiculous.
6 feet of fun for you, not them.
Yeah, feet and feet of gum.
Yeah.
Chiclets.
You love chiclets?
I don't know why. I love chiclets.
You know what? I like chiclets too, actually, now that I think about it.
They were my favorite, thing to get in the Halloween gum section.
Weird.
So when, you separate all your gums and you got your chocolates and you got your hard candies and your soft candies. Gums, I would take all the chiclets.
Is it because of the original crunch, the satisfying crunch?
You got that unique minty flavor. It's not like any other mint flavor.
Yeah, because the candy coating makes it a little bit sweeter on the outside, but then it becomes very, very mint.
Yeah. So, I just really enjoyed chiclets. So, of the gums, those would be my entire... I'd steal all the chiclets for myself.
All the chiclets.
All of them.
All of them.
I'd leave the Hubba Bubba and the Bazooka Joes for my brother.
I love Citrus Trident.
That's not a bad one.
That's my favorite one. Favorite gum.
Yeah.
It also had a weird, I think it had baking soda crystals in it for cleaning your teeth.
You know what I didn't enjoy? Any of the cinnamon gums.
Oh, I love cinnamon gum.
I can't... Well, that's why I got you the Fireball.
I just want to drink liquid fire.
I'm not a fan of cinnamon either.
Not for gum.
Cinnamon or peppermint? No.
All the cinnamon.
And it's not even the cinnamon, it's that fake cinnamon flavor.
It's good.
Not in a gum.
Yeah, in a gum. In all things.
Hey, did you know we got feedback from one of our last episodes?
What?
Yeah.
Feedback?
Yeah, I thought we maybe would talk about some pop culture stuff this week instead of gum and fads and stuff.
That's all pop culture.
That's pop culture.
Yeah.
Gum pops.
You got me there. Okay, so last week we had a nice discussion about the Picard series.
Okay, yeah.
Did you watch episode 4?
I did not. I've had a very busy week.
Okay.
Very busy and painful week.
And have you watched any of the episodes?
No, not yet.
Oh, boy. Okay.
I actually meant to, though. I was looking at it the one day, and it just didn't happen.
Okay. Well, so we won't talk about episode 4, because I've only seen it once, and I don't remember too much about it, because I need to see it again. Although...
So you can say it was a very memorable episode.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll say it. The very exciting part was that 7 of 9 showed up at the very end.
Okay.
So that was cool.
I like 7 of 9.
Yeah. So that was awesome. So anyway, Richard from Australia sends us feedback from last week's episode.
Okay.
Okay. And before we get into the feedback, I got a funny story about Richard from Australia. Although it's not really about him in particular. It was a weird thought that I had. So I got this.
Are you about to drive away one of our listeners?
No. I think he'll think it's funny.
All right.
At least I think he's got a pretty good sense of humor. So
If not, we apologize in advance
yes.
for Sean and his weird thoughts.
That's right. I do have weird thoughts from time to time. So Richard from Australia has been a long-time listener, and that's just become his nickname, Richard from Australia. Although, I'm sure he doesn't go and introduce himself, hey, I'm Richard from Australia, while he's in Australia.
Especially because he's probably surrounded by other Australians.
Right. So I was watching some Magnum PI, the private investigator show, and I got this comment from him, and I was having some weird trains of thought, and I was like, you know what? I want to start up a web comic or a comic book series or something about Richard from Australia as a private investigator. And I'm like, okay. So then thoughts went to thoughts, and Richard, the short form is sometimes Rick or Dick, and a private investigator is like a private dick. And he's Richard from Australia. Australia's down under, so I want to call the thing Down Under Dick.
Yeah, but wouldn't it then actually, to be more accurate, wouldn't it be Down Under Dick?
Only if you got all the ladies. It was just a weird thought.
That is definitely how you would have to write it.
Yes. It'd be an adult comic, obviously.
It would definitely be.
So I was like, I wonder if Richard from Australia would like if we started calling him Down Under Dick instead of Richard from Australia. So
we definitely need feedback on that. We can't just start calling him that.
I wasn't even going to bring this up, but it was just such a weird thought that I had to get out of my head, and I had to let him know too, and you guys as well.
All right, Richard. If you want to be called Down Under Dick, let Sean know. And if you want to be you want me to punch Sean for you, I will do that.
I'll gladly accept it.
You can send an email to xia_nt@hotmail.com, and I will punch Sean on the podcast for you.
On podcast?
Yeah.
Ooh.
You won't know what's coming if you send it to me.
That's funny.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so these are the thoughts that normally I keep in my head, but it was just too weird I had to get it out. So anyway, back to his feedback from last week's episode. Our episode last week was all about how the Federation is not necessarily utopia. So he says, agree with you guys about Picard. I am enjoying the show for what it is, but the universe it presents, I don't know, doesn't quite seem to fit in with Trek in some respects, but then again, the Trek universe only suggests it at a near-perfect universe. After all, even in the time of TOS, there were mentally ill, such as in Dagger of the Mind. There were killers, or rather those caused to desperate measures due to resource limitations, such as Conscience of the King. And member planets both warring, or at least not quite at peace, such as in Journey to Babel, and in need, in trouble with troubles. Then, as you note, you had Enterprise explore anti-alien sentiment, DS9 set in more or less a limited Federation influence area, and so on. As for the weird situation of our heroes seemingly to both not understand the concept of money, yet it exists, even consider McCoy trying to hire a ship to Genesis, not to mention various later seasons of TNG and DS9 where characters would interact with aliens in bars and so on to extract information. It is surprising the situation on Earth shown by Picard. The haves and have-nots, and I'm not too sure what is going on there, hoping it can be explained more somehow. Also, I find it impossible that a mere Commodore would be head of Starfleet security overall. That would be a high admiral position, vice at least, in my opinion. A Commodore would oversee a sector or region at best. Yes, I'm being pedantic. And he concludes by saying...
Pedantic.
Yes, that, pedantic. Thanks, Josh. And finally, my theory on the Romulans going crazy or by not being assimilated properly, the cube dying, is that, as with the original idea for Hugh and Iborg, the Romulan faction who hate artificial life attempted to devise something that was in those assimilated individuals that both infected the ship and them too. A weapon against the Borg. Just my thought.
Alright, but the Borg are specifically not artificial life.
They're enhanced. They're combined.
Precisely. And the Borg themselves are almost anti-AI. Because they could easily create advanced AI.
Oh, for sure they could.
But instead, they deliberately only expand their numbers through assimilation. They don't even really reproduce internally.
Although we did see some babies in an episode.
They usually get them from other... Remember in Voyager, when they stumble upon all those children that were being kept in incubators until they would be useful members of the collective?
Right.
So they don't reproduce internally. Those are assimilated babies.
Yeah, I guess that would be it. It's not really ever cleared up and explained.
Well, because you can't, assimilate, a pregnant lady either. You'd have to, leave her
No, you can assimilate the pregnant lady.
Well, yeah, but like
and then extract the baby.
They extract the baby and then let it grow up so that it'll be.
Right.
Because like nobody wants a Borg baby because they stop growing because the flesh is all weird and necrotized. That's why they're all like gray and white, weird and gross.
Weird and gross.
Yeah, they are weird and gross.
And they put them in the maturation chamber and they let it stew for a couple weeks until it's ready.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even want like teens yet.
I'm thinking though that maybe this Borg cube with the last 25 assimilated individuals is like the Icheb, remember from Voyager?
Yeah.
Where he his family sent him out to infect the Borg cube and it wrecked it all up.
Yeah, that was so
maybe
sad.
it's a similarity.
But in context,
Mm-hmm.
these beings, these Romulans, are anti-AI.
Yes.
The Borg are most definitely not AI.
We are the Borg. Lower your shields and surrender your ships. We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own. Your culture will adapt to service us. Resistance is futile.
Yeah, because they're all.
Most
of them are all led by the Queen. Like you can't say all because there's like Hugh.
Yes, but they're definitively not AI.
Yeah.
That's right.
We will add your biological and technological distinctiveness to our own.
They're drones. They're part of the collective.
Yeah. But the biological distinctiveness is the important one.
Oh yeah, for sure, because you need that.
So yeah, there's that side of it. But yeah, I agree with Richard. I didn't notice that at first, but yeah, she's just a mere Commodore.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just a fleet captain.
And we haven't really seen Commodore since the original series.
Wasn't there a Commodore in that episode where the trial happened with Wesley at Starfleet Academy?
There may have been.
I think the Commodore was in charge of Starfleet Academy.
I can't remember.
That seems like a regular position for a Commodore.
I'm
you get a school.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that was a Commodore.
That could have been.
And that's about where a Commodore should be. Either a small fleet command, right? So, 10, 12 ships on a task force doing a specific job, or running a smaller segment of a fleet where the Admiral would be in charge of the overall fleet, and then you have the smaller section of the Commodore.
Is it a temporary thing? Because
well, according to Wikipedia, a Commodore is a naval rank used in many navies that is superior to a Navy captain but below a Rear Admiral. It is either regarded as the lowest of the flag officer's rank or may not hold the jurisdiction of a flag officer at all, depending on the officer's appointment. Non-English speaking nations often use the rank of flotilla admiral or counter-admiral or senior captain as an equivalent, although counter-admiral may also correspond to rear admiral. Traditionally, Commodore is the title for any officer assigned to command more than one ship at a time, even temporarily, such as captain is the traditional title for a commanding officer of a single ship, even if the officer's official title in the service is lower rank. As an official rank, a Commodore typically commands a flotilla or squadron of ships as part of a larger task force or naval fleet commanded by an admiral. A Commodore ship is typically designated by the flying of a broad pennant as opposed to an admiral's flag. I don't know if that clears it up or not, but it's more than captain, less than admiral.
Yeah.
So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, so maybe she's on her way up the admiralty.
But
why
again, Richard is correct. She should not be in command of Starfleet security.
Exactly.
Starfleet security should be run by a high admiral.
And it's not like a temporary thing, right?
No.
Because I haven't watched any of Picard.
No, that's just
as far as we know. No.
Okay.
It's just weird because we haven't seen Commodores in forever. So
and they're like I said, the last one we seen I think was in Next Gen.
Yeah, it could have been
taking care of the Academy because you also run into Commodores at academies,
right?
Because they command training ships, usually a small number of like a fleet of training ships.
Yeah.
But they're not actually a naval commander.
No, exactly.
They're not a flag officer in that regard.
It's just a weird rank to give her for the show.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Although I saw an interesting still shot, and then something was pointed out to me. The episode, she has her glasses on, and she's got her pips, but they're not quite lined up.
Okay.
The suggestion was that she is hungover.
She shouldn't have glasses on anyway if she's a Vulcan, because she's got the inner eyelid, so she shouldn't.
Yeah, but she's wearing sunglasses,
Mm-hmm.
and
the pips
are slightly crooked.
Huh. Okay, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So look at the one episode where she's wearing the things.
Yeah.
Also, if she's actually a Romulan and not a Vulcan,
right?
Her inner eyelid may not be as
developed because they've been off planet for 2,500 years or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's a lot of stuff going on. So yeah, I got to watch episode 4 again. to actually have it solidified in my mind.
Well, I only got 2 more episodes to make up my mind, and I'm leaning towards the not, actually.
For shame.
Not heavily, but this darker interpretation is not what I'm into.
Mm-hmm.
I like the optimism that Star Trek provided. This is not optimistic.
We're getting towards the optimistic again.
No, we're not.
It's because it's reflecting today's society in the United States. How it's all very depressing and...
Yeah, but I think
Do
generally
you
when,
think the 19... Sorry, love.
when things are really depressing in real life, they usually have really optimistic things in fictional culture to, like, counteract that. So
Sometimes.
we're not, like, just bombarded with everything is awful.
We've got Picard fighting the system to put right what once went wrong.
So,
I like that part.
The original series was in the 1960s.
Correct.
1960s was a very turbulent time in American history.
Yes.
And yet this showed a bridge with racial equality,
And
a meritocracy.
an optimistic future.
Yeah. So generally when we go to the future, we tend to want to... This is what we're shooting for. That's what Star Trek has always been.
Mm-hmm. I don't agree. I don't disagree.
And there was a lot of talk in the Next Generation about how money and the search for money is a bad thing and we don't need that anymore because we're beyond that. We had that with the banker from the past in the episode where all the people...
The neutral zone.
Yeah. So, and there was lots of talk of that throughout.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because that was the 80s and greed is good and corporate America and stab somebody else just to make an extra buck era.
Yes.
But the 80s was also, like, a good time. Like, people had generally financial stability. There was lots of spending going on. Like, you know, that was the years of the big...
The yuppies.
The big, flashy, everybody lived in the mall.
That's
the years of the mall rat.
Except that was the years of the hollow capitalism.
Yeah.
People weren't happy.
No, yeah, but everybody thought that they were.
People have never been happy.
No, they had a good period from the 1940s to the 1960s. Now, yes, there were lots of racial things and they had their own problems there. But on the money side of things, people were doing very well then.
Doing well, like, financially
until the 70s.
The rise of the middle class, yeah.
Where corporate interests started to outweigh social interests, and then greed is good, and got to make that extra buck, and got to sell, and then we got into the hollow capitalism of the 80s.
Right.
And what did Star Trek say? We don't need that. We don't pursue money. We pursue personal enlightenment. Hell, we'll make a villain based on the evil corporate guy trying to make an extra buck by selling and buying and doing something, and we got the whole Ferengi out of that.
Correct.
So the whole thing of it.
How did they... Sorry to cut you off, but, like, how did they have no recollection of money when they had to deal with freaking Quark all the time?
Except they didn't meet the Ferengi until season 1 of the Next Generation.
Yeah, but...
They had no direct contact with them. They know about the concept of money, but they don't know how to deal with it. They understood that money is a thing and that here's how it works in the abstract.
Yeah, but wouldn't they have to have had to learn how money works? At least, like, the higher-ups.
Yes.
Because they'd have to deal with Ferengi?
Another species who deal with money.
Yeah.
Yes, like, there's money, it's just, on Earth you don't get paid. You just work to better yourself. And
Didn't they have credits, though?
Yeah, I think there was credits.
Credits?
Credits
are the same thing.
That's how Uhura bought the tribbles, with credits.
Yeah, exactly.
The idea there has generally been accepted that she's using money.
Yeah.
It's not Federation money. She got money from somewhere else.
Everybody's got a side job, baby.
Oh, no.
And
they're always hustling.
No.
And remember, there's a difference between the original series and the Next Gen of about 100 years.
Yeah, but I could have sworn that somebody else was getting, what's his name? Paris. Tom Paris used credits to buy his weird actual TV, didn't he?
No, that was replicator credits. Because they were rationing how much replicators could be used on the ship because it takes up a specific type of energy.
Okay, but that is also basically money.
It's basically money, yes,
replicated rations. Yeah.
And you can create an economy like that out of nowhere from doing things like rationing. The moment there is no longer an abundance, because most of the next generation takes place in a place where it's like, I need a new clothes, replicate a new set of clothes. I need the fanciest crystalware ever made, replicate some fancy crystalware.
Yeah,
right?
Because they weren't lacking anything, and then
Precisely.
they sort of wound up with types of things like that, and then also they had to barter with people on planets
because they were no longer in a post-scarcity society. They have scarcity. Scarcity can generate income because there's now a disparity between the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah.
And Tom Paris saved up his replicator credits, and then they were betting replicator credits,
I remember
creating
that.
an economy within the ship.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because I watched a lot of Voyager, so I just assumed that everybody had some type of credits, because they never said replicator credits.
They did.
Well, they did, but they never said it often, because he just
rations,
said,
rations.
rations.
They use those words interchangeably. They use both replicator credits and rations.
Yeah, but they weren't talking about money, because they didn't have money.
No.
And the money wouldn't mean anything to anybody offside the ship, so...
Precisely.
Yeah.
Well, they knew about gold press latinum, though, of course.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, because that's after the meeting of the Ferengi, the understanding of that culture expanded.
Exactly.
It's still a post-scarcity society on Earth, but they have have-nots and haves, which doesn't make sense.
Yep, and maybe they'll explain it more, but we can't figure that out right now. So.
I haven't watched any of it, so I don't know at all.
I doubt they are.
Yeah.
And, you have a private ship working outside the bounds of the Federation. Let's ignore the fact that there's a private ship in orbit around Earth that is not under Starfleet control, but...
well, there can be private people having stuff.
Except you have to have your ships registered.
Well, maybe it's registered somewhere.
No, he's specifically an unregistered ship.
Nah, I don't know that.
Because all ships are property of Starfleet.
Who's this guy with the unregistered ship?
Former Starfleet officer.
Rios.
I'm asking because I have no idea.
He's a former Starfleet officer who got tired of Starfleet as it is.
So he's just allowed to have things?
We don't know. They haven't really explained it yet.
Yeah.
He's got holograms of himself with different voices.
That's really weird.
Yeah, he runs his ship with
That's
emergency medical holograms, emergency navigation holograms, emergency engineering holograms.
That's an extreme difference between the haves and the have-nots. Some of these people are struggling to survive. I have a private ship that's not registered anywhere. Used to be part of the Federation because we all had stuff then, but not anymore. Now everything's for me.
See, now I understood why colony worlds always had, we went out and started a colony and now we don't have enough food because there's one replicator for the entire colony. I understood that.
Because they're just starting out.
They're starting out, and the people that wanted that kind of challenge in their life would go out there and try to start a colony.
Right, exactly.
So that always made sense to me. You can have a have-nots in an overall society if they're choosing to be have-nots.
And they're working towards having.
They're just working to creating the challenge of making a new colony.
Exactly.
On Earth? How?
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's very weird.
It is very weird. We got some casting news for you guys.
Casting news?
Do you like casting news?
Okay. Yeah, I like casting news. Particularly Fireball is my favorite spell.
Oh.
Lightning Bolt comes second, and then Firestorm.
That's good casting.
Dragon Slave.
That's a good one, but...
It's basically just giant fireball.
Sleep?
Giant, enormous, crazy fireball. Sleep is also good.
Sleep's a real useful spell. People underestimate sleep.
Especially if you have insomnia.
Yeah. Huh. And that's all the casting news we have today.
Yeah. yes. Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Netflix series lands all-star voice cast.
Okay.
That's a different kind of casting.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Nothing to do with magic, but maybe the show, if it's really good, it'll be like magic.
Is it animated?
Because
it says voice cast.
Yeah, so obviously it must be. So Mark Hamill, Lena Headey, Chris Wood, and Sarah Michelle Gellar headline the actors in the animated show. Kevin Smith's animated Masters of the Universe series at Netflix has lined up a powerhouse voice cast. It's called Masters of the Universe Revelation, an anime-style series in which Smith serves as showrunner. The series will focus on the unresolved storyline of the iconic characters in the He-Man universe, picking up where they left off decades ago. Mattel Television is producing the series. Smith executive produces with Adam Bonnet, Christopher Keenan, and Rob David. Smith says, I cannot believe the lineup of talent I get to play with. The incredible star-studded cast that Mattel's Rob David and Netflix's David Blazell assembled for our Masters of the Universe series will let any lifelong He-Man fan know we're treating the cartoon seriously and honoring the legendary world of Eternia with A-list talent. Chris, Sarah, Mark, Lena, and the other amazing actors and actresses have given performances so powerful and real in a show that features a talking giant green tiger. With these fantastic performers behind our characters, it'll be crazy easy to immerse yourself in the swords and sorcery of our epic sci-fi soap opera. It looks like Mark Hamill's going to play Skeletor.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be good. He could probably do he does a really good voice for people that he makes voices for.
Lena Headey is going to play Evil Lynn. Sarah Michelle Gellar as Tila.
Oh, neat.
Very cool. We've also got...
She'd make a good Tila.
We've also got Stephen Root, Diedrich Bader, Griffin Newman, Tiffany Smith, Henry Rollins, Alan Oppenheimer, Susan Eisenberg, Alicia Silverstone, Justin Long, Jason Mewes, Phil Lamar, Tony Todd, Cree Summer, Kevin Michael Richardson, Kevin Conroy, and Harley Quinn Smith.
Who's Alicia Silverstone going to be?
I don't know, it doesn't say.
Do you think she's going to be the queen?
There's no premiere date either.
What was her name? Eleanor?
I think so. Which one's from Earth? I think it's the Queen.
The Queen,
right?
yeah. The Queen's from Earth.
The Queen and Evil Lynn are both from Earth.
Yes.
They were part of a crashed space mission where both of them were the only survivors on the ship.
Oh.
And Evil Lynn...
Her name was Evelyn, and everybody on Eternia was just like, Evil Lynn? She's like, no, Evelyn. But she's Evil Lynn now. Mm-hmm. And I guess that's fine.
It's fitting, right? Yeah, so that's the voice cast, and there's no premiere date, but it's going to be pretty awesome by the sounds of it.
That's really fun. You know, if it's Kevin Smith making it in the first place, because, like, he occasionally does, like, things that are more geared towards adult people.
Yeah.
And the original He-Man was definitely meant to be a kid's show.
What do you mean, occasionally?
Well, sometimes he makes stuff that's okay for younger people to watch.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Sometimes.
Like what?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Supergirl, but that's him directing.
Yeah.
He did Flash and Supergirl, and I think he did a Batwoman episode.
I'm not sure.
But that's him directing. When he's showrunning or creating, then generally it's more mature.
Yeah, but I've always wanted a He-Man. It would be fine if it was a movie, but I've always wanted one that was basically heavy metal. Like the heavy metal animated movie, the first one. I've always wanted to see He-Man that is basically heavy metal.
That would fit.
So, boobs and peen?
Well, with like the fitting music and like the weird, the crazy colors that were in original He-Man all the time, but like, animated ever so slightly better. And not afraid of like boobs and other nudities. And just like, evil bad guys who are not afraid to actually kill people and good guys who are not afraid to kill people. But then also like they're kind of zany and weird and they're not above snorting things and just being silly. Like I'd love to see Merman and Beastman chatting it up and taking narcotics. Because they're bad guys. It's fine for them to take narcotics.
Yeah.
You want to see Ram Man just smash through somebody, blood flying everywhere?
Yeah, I just think that would be cool. I just think it would be the perfect mix.
You finally figure out how Trapjaw ended up with his Trapjaw?
Yeah, or he could talk about it.
He-Man punched it off?
Yeah, he punched off my jaw. That could totally happen.
I think it could. I think you're onto something.
I think it would be good. But, if he's going to make this one more child-friendly, that's totally okay, because that would be in the original
vein of things.
Like, we're going to sell toys, which is fine. Adults also buy toys now.
Now? I think adults always bought toys. It's just more acceptable now.
Yeah, not in the same amount. Like, people who were adults when we were children had curio cabinets full of little porcelain people.
Yes, that's true.
And plates with things painted on them.
Like windmills.
Yeah.
And meadows.
Flowers.
Uh-huh.
The royal couples.
Right.
And
Elephants.
now... Yeah,
elephants everywhere.
Elephants everywhere. But now, there's people our age with the same curio cabinets, sometimes handed down from
the old
grandparents.
Yep.
And we've filled them with plastic.
Action figures and replica starships.
Yeah, it's awesome. Things from our childhood that bring us great joy.
Yes.
Which we shouldn't feel bad about, but for some reason a lot of older people still want us to feel bad about it. And it's like, how is How is my He-Man collection different from your weird collection of Precious Moments figures? They're doing the same thing.
Because we can have curio cabinets filled with pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
And speaking of pop culture stuff, I got a promo for the Pop Culture Cosmos podcast right here on the ESO Network.
Check out what's been going on with the Pop Culture Cosmos Show and the PCC Multiverse.
The better that these Marvel films do, the higher the standards are going to be for not just other films in general, but other Marvel films also.
I think it's really hard to end a show with this many fans in a satisfying way.
That's the Pop Culture Cosmos Show.
And the PCC Multiverse.
Playing worldwide on radio 7 days a week and right here on the ESO Network.
So that's the Pop Culture Cosmos podcast right here on the ESO Network. You check it out.
Mm-hmm. So what are we on to now?
Well, we did Masters of the Universe. We talked about Picard. We got the feedback done. You got any comic book news? I've got some comic book news. Batman the Animated Series comic book is coming back.
Yes, that's true.
Tell me.
Okay, well, I have to look it up now.
Do you have to look it up now? Well, if you have to look it up now, don't bother, because it's not that important. I did share a thing on the Facebook page.
It is important.
It's right here. You can read it right from there, right from my phone. You go ahead and read it, because you're the comic book expert.
Okay, so actually we're going to have a lot of this stuff at Jump City, the comic book store at which I own. So Batman the Animated Series returns as a comic with Paul Dini. Just a few days after Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey, a movie that featured several original characters and concepts from the beloved DC animated universe, hit theaters, DC announced today that Batman the Animated Series co-creator Bruce Timm would return to the world that helped make an indelible?
Indelible, yeah.
What the hell is that?
Very impactful and
indelible part of so many fans' childhoods with a new comic book series set in the DCAU. As an extra treat for the fans who may have enjoyed the Batman the Animated Adventures, a previous comic set in that universe, DCAU, writer Alan Burnett and artist Ty Templeton, who worked on that series for much of its run, will return with a new book. Batman the Animated Series ran for 85 issues from 1992 till 1995 and spun off a number of series, including Superman and Justice League shows, along with Batman Beyond, which picked up with an older Bruce Wayne in the DCAU's future, introduced a whole new Batman in the form of Terry McGinnis. The voice of Bruce in all of these was Kevin Conroy, who has been the gold standard since recently made his live-action debut as Bruce Wayne in the CW's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah, so that's coming. Are we excited?
I actually am. We just got in one of the first graphic novels, and it's got Paul Dini. I think he's the writer. And then the artwork on the outside is ever so slightly different. It's very Bruce Timm, Darwin Cook looking. I cannot remember right now the artist, but it looks fantastic, and then all the inside is very, very similar to all the art that we remember. It's ever so slightly different because it is a different artist.
Right.
I kind of really like that it's different from the original, but it still so much looks the same. It looks fantastic.
So people who grew up on that stuff will be happy, very happy.
I think so. It looks really good.
And speaking of comic book stuff, you know what I pre-ordered this week?
What did you pre-order?
I pre-ordered the Marvel Legends Stan Lee action figure that comes out this May.
Cool.
Did we talk about that on an episode? I don't know if we did.
We did. We talked about it coming out.
Yeah, so it's coming out at the end of April, early May. It's Stan Lee in a leather jacket with the Captain America shield and a chessboard.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Does he talk?
No.
Aww.
But he's 6 inches and he's got multiple points of articulation.
That's pretty cool.
Yep. Should we talk about some trailers?
Sure, let's talk about some trailers.
Okay, well, we're not going to play this trailer because all it is music, but it's the teaser trailer for Stranger Things Season 4, and all it reveals is that Hopper is still alive, which we all suspected anyway.
He appears to be working on some kind of Russian
Railroad,
rail track?
Something.
Sure.
That's it.
Yeah, it's a teaser, so it doesn't give you anything.
Nope, nothing. It's just people working on a railroad, and then he takes off his hat because he's hot, and we see his face.
Yeah.
And he's bald.
Well, yeah.
They missed the perfect opportunity.
Oh?
They should have played the song, I've Been Working on the Railroad.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Missed a perfect opportunity.
Well, I'm very pleased that Hopper is still alive.
Yes. I suspected that he was as well.
We did too, when they say the American in the cage. But, like, realistically...
He should have died.
They probably have more than one American captive
That makes sense.
In their crazy Russian base.
I would think so, too. Yeah.
Right? Because, like, they had a bunch of Russians underneath an American mall.
Yeah, it was weird.
So, like, you're going to tell me they only took one guy?
No. I'm not going to tell you that. I would never tell you that.
Nobody ever tells me anything.
Nobody tells you anything? Oh. Well, I can't tell you when it's coming out either, because it doesn't say. But that's the teaser for Season 4. And we're very excited, and we'll watch it. And
we will.
I'll try not to watch it 3 months late this time.
Didn't they also drop a trailer recently for the new Batman?
Oh, you know what? Yes, they did. It's the screen test for Pattinson as Batman.
Yeah, and it's like not enough to see anything at all. It's just kind of reddish, and you only can just barely make out that there's a Batman.
Yes, I meant to watch that, and I haven't, but I saw it shared all over Facebook. And my buddy at work was saying, "Oh, it's awesome! It looks great. Robert Pattinson's a great actor." And,
he is actually, though.
And my buddy at work recommends something called The Lighthouse.
Yeah, The Lighthouse is freaking scary and weird.
It's got him and Willem Dafoe, right?
It does have Willem Dafoe.
And I haven't seen it. I don't know anything about it.
Apparently, the weather conditions in the filming of that movie, The Lighthouse, were so bad that they did most of their work and their acting without actually getting to speak to each other than their lines. Oh. And it wasn't until after the movie had been made that they got to speak to each other for any good length of time, and then they decided they like each other quite a lot.
Nice.
But there's also a whole scene that's done in the movie where it was taken in one shot. I can't remember which part, but apparently Willem Dafoe doesn't blink for like a whole 2 minutes.
Interesting.
Yeah, it sounds like him.
I love him. He's great.
He's great. You know, we also saw a trailer for The Iron Mask.
In 500 years, no one has ever escaped. You're not going anywhere. It's the tower! So stupid.
Give this to Lieutenant!
What's your name?
Chen Lan, I owe you my life.
I'm going east. My way is filled with dangers. Come with me. My journey follows the Silk Road. The Great Wall of China.
Something is very wrong.
Gather the people immediately. Make everyone see that the dragon obeys me.
I must help save them.
I've been waiting for this for a long time. No! Don't touch this! This is the helmet of Genghis Khan.
Helmet? This is an incense pop.
When I have the seal of the dragon, I will rule the world.
You look better this way.
It looks fun.
We got
looks bad.
We got Jackie Chan, we got Arnold Schwarzenegger, and some other guys, and so it's hyper realistic and it looks like crap.
A lady who wants to prove her power over a dragon.
Yes.
Although she's got a mirror, and I'm pretty sure she's controlling them like a cat with a laser.
So here's the thing: it's supposed to be this big movie with Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger starring them.
Mm-hmm.
They aren't in most of the trailer.
Yeah, no.
Or maybe all their scenes from the movie are in the trailer, and the marketing team is trying to mess with us and make us think it's a Jackie Chan Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, and it's not really.
It honestly looks like Jackie Chan does the handoff of the relic, and then the other person runs off and has the adventure for the entire movie, because all of the scenes we see are the same fighting in the tower between Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
So they'll be at the beginning and at the end, but not anywhere in the middle.
Yeah. Also, Arnold Schwarzenegger is part of the English army.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
He does not sound very English.
No, he doesn't, does he? He never has. Accents are not his strong suit.
Jackie Chan's accent is closer to English than Arnold Schwarzenegger's.
I don't know. It looks like fun. I saw the medallion, and the medallion wasn't good. It looks better than that.
Does it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a bad movie. The Tuxedo also wasn't particularly good.
Yeah, but
those are paycheck movies.
Yeah. Jackie Chan's stunts, as always, are good, but the writing for the entire movie wasn't
Right.
good.
That's true.
This looks at least like it has more stuff going on than those.
It looks like I would love it if I was 12
Yeah, exactly,
And
which
had-
is what I think it is made for.
and had never seen other movies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But there's
Or
been
been
lots
exposed
of...
to any kind of media at all.
Right. Yeah.
Except now with the modern culture, 12-year-olds have more exposure to modern media than we do.
Yes. I was raised on a VHS tape of Twins. So this movie's awesome. I love it.
It looks like a combination of... What's that one where Jackie Chan's like the babysitter / going to be the stepfather to those kids?
Either The Spy Next Door...
The Spy Next Door. That's the one. It looks like a combination of that and Jingle All the Way. With dragons.
Oh god, those were terrible movies.
No, they're great.
See, nobody's gonna watch this thing, and they're gonna have to rename it and call it Schwarzenegger's Dragon. Just like this past week, they had to rename Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of Harley Quinn into just Harley Quinn / Birds of Prey. They had to change the name because nobody went and saw the thing.
The Fantabulous...
Emancipation of Harley Quinn.
Is that what it was called?
Of one Harley Quinn.
Of one, yeah. It was some convoluted title that was too many words.
And people were like, I want to go see the Harley Quinn movie, but I don't see it up here. I don't see Harley Quinn, and therefore it's not up there.
Oh.
Because all they could put was Birds of Prey, because the other stuff was way too long for the marquees. So
I gotcha.
And they wanted to see the Harley Quinn movie.
I know. It's really disappointing how many people love Harley Quinn but have never read anything in their whole lives. Not a comic, not anything, not the back of a cereal box. But it's fine. Everything is fine. There's still lots of fans out there who read, so that's what's important. They probably saw the movie.
I saw the movie, but it wasn't good.
It wasn't good?
No.
Oh.
Although I've read some reviews that said it was fantastic and it was all kinds of awesome, but
Well, maybe it's just not your thing
So-
then.
it wasn't.
That's okay.
You got to take a look at review sourcing. From what I've been hearing, most people are like, it was middling to bad.
Yeah, that's accurate.
But there is a vocal on each side again. Those are the ones that are defending it because it is a perfect movie, because it is a female-led movie, and therefore you are a misogynist for not liking it.
Of course.
And then you have the people who are like, well, it's an action film starring women, so therefore it's not good.
Those aren't the reasons why it wasn't good.
But
So, no.
Shouldn't it have been like the people who are fans of at least the universe saying you have to watch it because it is a comic book based movie and we want more of those, so...
No, the people who are fans of the universe are like, it's middling to poor.
Was this the live action one again?
It was.
Yeah.
Oh, they always do so much better job with the animated ones.
This is an extension of the Harley Quinn from the Suicide Squad.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
You
so
know, a lot of people liked that movie.
It wasn't good either.
No.
I didn't watch it. I didn't think it was going to be good.
it
But a
wasn't.
lot of people did like it, and that's okay.
You know what? I don't like that Harley Quinn.
That's okay. There's so many different versions.
Harley Quinn-wise, I like the original.
She's very, very fun. I also really like the one from DC, Superhero Girls. And that's a completely different universe altogether. They're really fun.
I like the one from the DC animated universe. She's fun. Her costume is the best costume.
It is the best costume.
All these other ones are stupid. I don't like the other costumes.
The Daddy's Little Monster costume.
That one's one of the worst ones.
It's just clothes.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna dye the ends of my hair bright colors.
Yes.
No, the whole point of her costume is she can take the makeup off and disguise herself as just a person in a crowd.
Well, she was originally just a person in a crowd, and then at some point they wound up having her acid dipped. I guess that's fine.
It's fine. It's fine.
Because, like, she was supposed to be weird,
Well-
like, basically under the thumb of the Joker, right? So
Yeah.
it was supposed to be her...
This is her post-breakup with the Joker.
When she got acid dipped, it was supposed to be like a loyalty thing to him.
Okay.
Which was awful, but, like, it's not supposed to be something uplifting. Because she's supposed to be the example of every bad relationship ever.
But people
She's
go,
like the
relationship
poster...
goals.
I know, and it's awful, because, like, that's the example of, this is what you shouldn't be going for. This is an awful thing. Don't let this happen to you. When she does get free, though, she winds up having quite the adventures all by herself. And those versions are kind of... She has, like, the ends of her hair dyed in her own weird comic, but you'd probably enjoy those ones because of the weird-ass adventures that she goes on.
I've seen some of them. They have not
her costume, like, she's also just like her own person in those ones, which it also explains away why she's not being quote-unquote the Harley Quinn, because she's not a clown sidekick anymore.
Yeah. But,
so that one makes sense.
But those ones, they changed her costume, like, weekly almost.
Yes.
And this is now the new definitive Harley Quinn costume, and this is the one you have to...
Oh, okay. Well, part of that was so that they could sell multiple different...
Yeah, I know.
Statues and things, but also they made it make sense in her own comic, you know, where she has this taxidermized beaver that talks to her, and this weird tiny dash hound creature that helps her run for president, even though nobody's ever going to vote for Harley, because she's like, hey, remember when I held you at gunpoint and tried to blow up your building? Vote for me! Like, it's just silly and weird, and nobody's going to vote for her. Or maybe she was trying to be mayor, I think.
Probably mayor.
It was all very, very silly, and her adventures are hilarious, and they wrote her as trying to be a human person, which is why her outfits are all different, because she's just wearing clothes.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, so don't recommend the movie. Don't go watch it. It's not worth it.
Although if you get the chance to watch DC Superhero Girls with any of your children, it's quite cute and fun. But it's a completely alternate universe, so don't be upset when you find out it's a completely alternate universe.
That's right. So I guess this is a good place to end the podcast?
No! We haven't worshipped the god Jesus robot.
Oh, what?
So Josh and I were watching this strange recap of really weird and sometimes really bad toys. Like questionable, marketed wrong, like just toys that probably should never have been made but are weirdly collectible now because they were so awful and protested sometimes, and one of which was the God Jesus robot.
I'm in. Can I get one?
Maybe. It was made in 1984.
Ooh. Tell me more.
It was created by Bandai. This article says, featured item, Bandai's God Jesus robot, a.k.a. Uranai Robo. As we enter, Byrony Reese might say, a fourth age where robots and AI transform the very nature of humanity forever. Perhaps there's no better time than the present to look back to a robot toy from several decades ago that can't really do much at all but in comparison. That's right. Before there was Pepper by SoftBank's Robotics, or even Amazon Echo, there was Uranai Robo, better known as in the US as the God Jesus robot. Created by Bandai and also sold in Japan in 1984, the God Jesus robot, or more accurately the fortune-telling robot, was a toy that could be used as a tool for divination, similar to the Magic 8-Ball. Though also entirely different in terms of Gesalt, players could ask the God Jesus robot a question to help them find answers to some of the most perplexing questions of life. Take my money and sign me up. So how does Uranai Robo work? This rare robot find is a favorite among collectors. The battery-powered Uranai Robo can nod its head as well as walk backward and forward. The gears sound like they're working overtime throughout. It's the little robot that could. There are no maybes in a world of Uranai Robo. Only the certainty that comes with complete arbitrary affirmations in the yay or nay direction. As you can see from the directions below, the robot will move its head in an affirmative or naysaying direction based on the answer to your question about the future. In a world full of gray areas, what could be more assuring than a clear-cut answer either way? It's a very strange robot. It came with a crucifix, I think.
Crucifix, and it had stickers on the side that said God, Jesus,
Robot, yeah.
I need it.
It is very cute. It doesn't look too dissimilar to it looks like a weird love child of Eva and Wall-E.
Yes,
because it's white and blue with glowing red eyes, but has slightly more Wall-E features, but is rounded like Eva.
So their children went into the priesthood.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It is very cute, and it's basically just a magic 8-ball that moves backward, forward, and nods its head.
Wow, that's impressive.
The advertisements show a little girl praying to the robot. to ask it a question about a boy that she likes. She's like, does this boy like me? And the robot says yes. And then for some reason in other advertisements, it has the same little boy that's in her imagination that she's asking whether or not he likes her.
Oh.
He's praying to the robot, asking if that same little girl likes him, and the robot tells him no.
Oh.
So I don't know if it's just that she doesn't like him and wants to know if he does indeed like her and is for some reason sickly happy about him liking her without liking him back, or perhaps the robot is lying to both of them or one of them.
God, Jesus, robot does not lie.
God, Jesus, robot does what he pleases, for he is both God and Jesus
We
and
don't know
robot.
the timing, though, of the
Oh, yeah,
questions.
that's true. They could have been asked at completely different times. Perhaps God, Jesus, robot knows more than all of us combined.
Maybe he asked first, and then he put the effort in to change her opinion about it. And then she's confused about it and asks God, Jesus, robot, and then God, Jesus, robot reveals the truth. And God,
Wow.
Jesus, robot has brought this couple together so that their baby will be born and bring about the end of the world.
That has to be it.
So the robot revolution can begin.
It's very cute.
Well, we are due.
And that is how Miles Dyson is born.
There you go. There you go. Well, that's good. We haven't had a robot profile in quite a while.
You're welcome.
Appreciate that. All right, now this episode is going to require hours and hours of editing, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. But I do thank all of our listeners for coming by and checking us out and sharing the links and leaving reviews in the podcast store. And, I did get a message from German, from the Play on Nerds podcast, which you should be checking out because they're doing a lot of Muppet Trek comparisons. German, you did say that you were going to send us Josh's hypothetical about the work spaceship thing there, even if it takes several months to get around to it.
So last year's hypothetical.
Yeah. So sometime by summer, maybe, we will have the hypothetical, which is awesome. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I'm tired. I can't think of anything else. Thanks for coming by. And remember, the only regret I have was trying to fit in. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Rusted Robot Podcast. Your support is greatly appreciated, and we hope you'll tune in again next time. Remember that you can visit therustedrobot.podbean.com for all of our social media links, and don't forget to share the show with everyone you know. The Rusted Robot Podcast is your best source for geek-style pop culture news.
I could do this all day.
Resistance is futile.
The Borg remain one of the most hostile threats we've seen in the Star Trek franchise, and they're definitely among the deadliest adversaries in science fiction history, period. So who are these weirdos? Where do they come from? And does it hurt to have all those tubes and stuff sticking out of their face like that? Well, fire up those cybernetic implants and prepare to be assimilated. This is the Borg Explained. Just picture yourself hurtling through the cosmos, minding your own business, and you run into a giant cube, kind of like this one, just floating there directly in the middle of your flight path. So what do? Do you run? Do you fight? Do you open a hailing channel and try to negotiate? Trick question. Doesn't matter, because whatever you do, the Borg are going to catch you, and if they don't kill you, they'll steal all of your cool tech and rip whatever knowledge you have straight out of your brain and turn you into one of millions of mindless drones filling that cube. This is the Borg. This is what they do. It's literally all they do, and they haven't done anything else for at least hundreds of years by the time humanity finally discovered their existence. And now that Jean-Luc Picard is hitting Warp Factor 9 on his way back to your many, many video screens, chances are good that the Borg are still lurking out there somewhere, just waiting to turn you and your buddies into creepy little murder cyborgs. The Borg is a hive mind civilization, so they all exist for the same purpose, to serve the collective, which is that hive mind. They travel the galaxy looking for strange new worlds, seeking out new life and new civilizations, except it's so they can just steal all their knowledge, their tech, and their resources. And yes, by resources, well, we mean you.
You will be assimilated. Resistance is futile.
They say that a lot. It's sort of something you get used to. Anyway, assimilation is the process by which you, a standard run-of-the-mill carbon-based life form, will become part of their collective, whether you like it or not. Hope you like needles and DNA-erasing nanoprobes. Oh, and also having a can opener for an arm, because you're definitely getting a can opener for an arm. And if that bothers you, well, in a minute or two you won't really care, because you're totally a Borg now. At one point, the Borg started out as organic life forms, not all that different from humans except that they began acquiring knowledge and technology of any civilization they encountered that they felt might augment their own. Or at least that's what the Borg Queen told Data in Star Trek First Contact. Their ultimate goal? To achieve perfection through assimilation. The collective designates each civilization it absorbs with a number. Humans, for example, are species 5,618. And the Borg has assimilated at least 10,000 species by the time we last see them in Star Trek Voyager. Here's a brief timeline of the key Starfleet run-ins with the Borg. 2063. A time-traveling Borg sphere arrives in our solar system, hoping to change the future, but is blown up by the also time-traveling Enterprise E before that happens. Pieces of the destroyed sphere, containing surviving Borg drones, come to rest near Earth's North Pole. 2153. Researchers find those remains near the Arctic Circle, and if you've seen John Carpenter's The Thing, yeah, pretty much the exact same thing happens here, but the Borg send a message back to the collective that will take 200 years to reach them, telling them that Earth is ripe for assimilation. 2351. That message reaches the Borg all the way out in the Delta Quadrant, and they dispatch a cube to come check it out. 2365. Captain Jean-Luc Picard and the crew of the Enterprise D encounter the Borg properly for the first time thanks to Q, who is A, an omnipotent godlike space entity, and B, a dick. 2367. That cube the Borg dispatched to Earth shows up in Federation space and quickly assimilates an entire starship, multiple colonies, and one Jean-Luc Picard. 40 Starfleet ships fought the Borg at the Battle of Wolf 359, and all but one of them was destroyed. 2373. This is when all the weird time travel stuff happens. The Enterprise E stops the Borg from assimilating Earth, following the sphere back in time to 2063, causing a weird time loop that would have been perfect for Avengers Endgame.
Time travel! What?
This is also the year that the Borg declared war on species 8472, a move that almost resulted in the destruction of the entire collective. Now, the new Picard series takes place at the very end of the 24th century, and we don't know what the Borg has been up to since the last time we saw them. But what do you think? Are the Borg the deadliest enemy Starfleet has ever faced? Will his past as a Borg drone continue to haunt Picard in his new series?
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping through Amazon.com or the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.